It's game 11 of 162, and the Yankees are in Motown to take on the Tigers. Ace of the staff, Gerrit Cole, is on the mound, and he is looking for win number 1 on the season. My recap, your reactions next. This is Yankees Game Night. Before we get started, a quick word from our sponsor, Manscaped. Gentlemen, it is spring and it is time to clear out the brush for summer. Manscaped has the full package you need for spring cleaning this year. The Performance Package 4.0 is the only tool you need to keep your boys looking and smelling like the fresh tulips your partner wants. The Performance Package, which I own by the way, is fantastic. It contains the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to get the most precise shave on your hedges. Further, April marks the beginning of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping by using my code NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. We'll take it.
Welcome to Yankees Stadium.
This is stuff that dreams are made of.
Well, that was kind of a snooze fest, as someone said in the comments. This game started at 6:40, and it's 10:40, 4 hours. Let's hear it for the pitch clock. Cold night in Detroit. It was so cold at the ballpark that it made me cold. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but I had to put on a hoodie in the second inning, so I'm wearing this Not Human. That's a Jason Dominguez hoodie available in my store. The game just took way longer than anticipated. It looked very uncomfortable to play in. Another really bad night for Gerrit Cole, but the Yankees win. They scratch out a victory. I like Hicks in the leadoff spot so far. 1 for 2, 2 walks, and a stolen base tonight. He led off the game with a hit. Yankees loaded the bases in the first inning. Made the Tigers pitcher throw, I think, 43 pitches in the first inning. And I thought that was going to be the high total for one inning for the entire game because it was the highest I'd ever seen. But then Gerrit Cole beat it the next inning. Unreal. So the Yankees load the bases in the first. Donaldson pops up, and the inning should have been over, but the wind kind of plays tricks with the ball, and the pitcher tries to save the catcher from missing it, like at the last second, but he dropped it. He gets awarded or credited the error. They shouldn't call it credited. They should call it like he gets convicted of the error. I don't know what you call it. Great base running and fantastic hustle by Anthony Rizzo on that play, hustling all the way with 2 outs and scored the second run. Gerrit Cole struck out the side in the first. He was lights out in the beginning, but then it all kind of went downhill from there. He just couldn't find the strike zone, but after the first inning, he was just a completely different pitcher. It was... Ugh.
From there on out, things just got worse.
IKF walked and stole second base in the second. Good to see him using his legs. Tigers' second pitcher of the game got a cramp mid-pitch. Like he developed that claw, like in Liar Liar. The claw! Anyway, worst pitch I've seen since 50 Cent at the Mets game, that ceremonial first pitch. You guys remember that? Anyway, Hicks with another productive at-bat picked up a sac fly to make it 3-0. Gerrit Cole was struggling to feel the baseball. You could tell. He lost the strike zone. He loaded the bases with walks and then walked in a run. He never does that. Sac fly made it 3-2. He just had no control. He was done after an inning and 2/3. He left the bases loaded. 5 walks on the night. 3 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. 900,000 pitches for Gerrit Cole tonight. 900,000. Clark Schmidt came in a tough spot and picked up a big strikeout to get the inning over with. IFK swiped or IKF. I keep doing that. I got JFK on my wall, so I keep saying IFK, but it's IKF. Swiped another bag in the top of the 4th to put a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs, but Judge struck out to end the inning and strand yet another runner in scoring position. He's having a tough time with runners in scoring position right now. He's really pressing. I think Aaron Judge is pressing for the first time since maybe 2018, right at the beginning of the season. He just does not look right. Tigers threaten in the 7th. Clark Schmidt, though, was fantastic. We got to give Clark Schmidt a round of applause. 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Let's hear it for Clark Schmidt. Anyway, Tigers threaten in the 7th. Donaldson nails a tying run at home on a bouncer, and then Clay Holmes strikes out Torkelson to preserve the lead. Gallo struck out 4 times tonight. That was pretty bad. They call that the golden sombrero, if you're new to baseball. He is slowly morphing more and more into Chris Davis every day. The guy, I tweeted tonight, he doesn't belong in a big league uniform. How do you strike out that much? And somebody else I just saw a few comments back said that tonight's win feels like a loss. Well, a win is a win. So I'm happy that we got the win. DJ tacked on an insurance run in the 9th, and Chapman closed it out for the victory. But tonight was about as rough as a win can get.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Now you see that Clark Schmidt has the belt. I don't have a graphic for bullpen, but I am using Clark Schmidt by decree as a representative of the bullpen that did an outstanding job tonight.
Bet winner.
7 1/3 scoreless innings for the bullpen, and honestly, they really saved the Yankees tonight. Gerrit Cole put the Yankees into a hole. Lori C says, Gallo is horrifying. He's Yankee Elif says, leave Gallo alone. I hope you're being facetious. It's hard to defend Gallo at this point. I mean, this is what he is. It's not like he's slumping. We traded some really good arms for this guy, and it's not working out. DJ, clutch on offense and defense. The AC merch. Yeah, DJ, I don't think should ever sit right now. I mean, he's playing well. 313 average, 890 OPS. I want to talk about Hicks for a second. 907 OPS. He leads the Yankees. Who had Aaron Hicks leading the Yankees in OPS after 11 games? The Yankees back over 500, by the way, with the win tonight.
More of that, please.
Cranky Baseball says, that loin is like getting your groin kicked for 3.5 hours, and at the end of it, you get $50,000. I got to say, I would take that deal. $50,000 is a lot of money. That's a new car. That's a nice SUV. Not So Family Fun Vision says, Gallo has been extremely unlucky. Really? I'd say he's extremely lucky to be on a major league roster. Frankie Baseball says, what's the opposite of the belt, and should Cole or Gallo get it? That is a good question. We need an opposite of the belt, don't we? We need some kind of like a demerit system. I'm open to ideas if you guys want to post something. Mike to AC Merch again says, Matt Blake has elevated this bullpen. Philly Phil says, Donaldson saved the Yankees. What game were you watching? Donaldson made a nice play at third. He didn't do much offensively tonight. He was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. He did draw a walk, hitting just 182. He had a nice night defensively. Eric C. says, Schmidt, the one player who really stand up today. Really stood out. All One says, hitting coach needs to tell them, don't overswing on 2 strikes. Just put the ball in play. That's something that I've been saying forever. So I want to thank you for that comment. I mean, I've always liked the approach that, when guys choke up with 2 strikes to avoid the strikeout. Even guys, good hitters like Robinson Cano would do that, And there's some, I know that outs are outs and strikeouts are seen by a lot of people as they don't matter. But nothing happens, and it slows down the game. Stone Cold X says we should get Conforto to play the outfield. I'm seeing a lot more talk about Conforto over the last, several days. And he super chatted it. Sorry I didn't get to it quick enough, but I appreciate the dono there. Let me find my there we go. Yankee says, come on, Derek, being too hard on Gallo. The guy's hitting 121. 121. You can't do any worse than 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. And then look at this throw. He missed home plate by 60 feet on that throw. He meant to throw it to home plate. He threw it to the mound. I don't get it. Fritz Walter says, at least IKF has started hitting. Yes, IKF had a couple of hits tonight. He's slowly coming out of it. And we saw what he can do on the bases when he gets on base. Hitting 258 now. That's slightly off of his pace from last year. The OPS not very high, 647. Yet to hit a home run. Only hit 8 home runs last year. So you can expect like maybe 1 or 2 a month out of him. Wouldn't surprise me if now that he's hitting a little bit, maybe you have a warm day, he'll hit 1 or 2, and then he'll go back to being a singles guy. I'm fine with that as long as he keeps stealing bases. Dion says, Judge looks like he's not focused on baseball. I mean, I hear you. He looks distracted. He looks pressing. But we got to separate the person from the problem, right? I mean, he's having a tough start, but we can't get inside anyone's head and know what's going on. Chase Glover says Gallo would still hit 150 on the 2017 Astros. Ouch. Isaac says, love the stolen bases today. No double plays. Well, the Yankees did turn a double play, but I don't think they hit into one. But they did turn one. Kiner, Falefa, LeMahieu, and Rizzo. Let's see here. Guillermo de Valencia says, I miss Chris Carter. He would fit in perfectly with this team. Chris Carter was another guy who played himself right out of the major leagues. You throw it at a certain spot and he just couldn't hit it. Chase Glover with the dono. Appreciate that. I'm a little bit behind you guys, so if I don't get to it right away, I apologize, but I'll try and get to all the comments that I can. Fritz Walter says, not being too hard on Gallo. Should have been gone long ago. No fit for this offense. Look, I just think we need somebody more dynamic out there. I was a big advocate of signing Seiya Suzuki to play left field, if not center field. I didn't think he was going to take over in center field because I felt like the Yankees were going to probably run Aaron Hicks back out there because he's under contract. But Seiya Suzuki went to the Cubs on a very reasonable deal. He showed elite strike zone judgment in Japan, and he's doing the same exact thing in America. Fernando Montalvo says, I like Ketel Marte from Arizona. I think he would do very well in the Bronx as a Yankee. Appreciate the dono. The thing about Ketel Marte is he just re-signed with the Diamondbacks. I don't have the details on his contract, but I know he signed an extension, and I think it was like at least 3 to 5 years. I feel like it wasn't like a short-term deal. Shane Johnson says, K Allo. Okay, so Gallo with K's. I get it. We're 2-9 without the best 1 through 15 staff in baseball. I think I said that right. A lot of shorthand abbreviations in that, and I'm not always good with that. Jeff J says, I missed it. What happened to Cole? Let's talk about Cole. We got a couple of voicemails about Garrett Cole.
Hey, Derek, this is Nicole. I'm a huge fan of the show. Been a diehard Yankees fan. come from a Bronx family living in the Midwest now, and I got to tell you, the Yankees never fail to surprise me with how diverse and unexpected ways that we can underperform. I think Garrett Cole is the latest example of this, as much as it pains me to say. Right now it feels like this lineup is better built for one of those punching bag machines you see at arcades than we are for, an actual baseball winning lineup. The power is nice. If I got to see one more exit velo graphic, I might lose it. We got to turn the ship around somehow because this is not a good start. Again, big fan. Thanks for hearing the call. Have a good night.
Big fan of you, my friend. So a little bit on Garrett Cole and a little bit on the offense in that call. So Garrett Cole tonight was clearly struggling with the elements. And I know we all get tired of excuses from Garrett Cole, whether it's Billy Crystal or can't hear the pitch comm because of the Star Wars noise, or because Brett Gardner is mocking him in the dugout. I feel like tonight he had a legitimate beef because the other starting pitcher did pretty much the same thing. I feel like the conditions at that point, whether it was the cold combined with the wind and the humidity or whatnot, the baseballs, I feel like it was very difficult to get a grip on the ball. Perhaps there's some kind of a sticky substance that he could have used. I'm just kidding. Look, he's definitely catching it from the fans. I got another voicemail here I'm going to play for you.
Hey, this is Joe from the Bronx. Garrett Cole's contract is about to go down in history as probably the worst contract in sports history. The guy has sucked ever since the sticky stuff got banned. He was good for maybe a month. But hey, this is Joe from the Bronx.
So he was much better than, or he was great for much more than a month, first of all. He pitched really well from like 2 starts after the sticky stuff got banned until he hurt his hamstring. It was like a 2.5 month period that he was fantastic last year. Struggled at the end of the season. I think maybe he's getting in his head a little bit. To me, he seems like a guy who's rattled before he even throws a pitch out there. William M. says, love Cole, but damn, bro, you got to start looking like an ace. I record my intro, and I'm sure somebody's going to comment on this before I even finish this broadcast. I record my intro before the game even starts, and I said, the ace is on the mound, Garrett Cole, in my little podcaster voice. The ace is on the mound. And tonight, I was embarrassed, and I almost re-recorded it. I didn't, but I considered it. Not because I don't think he's an ace, because I think he's going to adjust and be fine. But I knew it was not going to be representative of the fans tonight. But since we won, I figured I'll just leave it in. Just leave it in. Not going to rewrite history and edit myself. Tomorrow, we're seeing Ace 1B, Luis Severino. Louis. Kamikaze Crush says Cole will figure it out. I 100% agree. I think he can't help but figure it out.
I wholeheartedly agree.
It was a difficult night conditions-wise. Junior B says he only did great against the Astros, maybe 4 other games. First of all, that's a month. And he does give up home runs. He gave up home runs before he came to the Yankees. Baseball Boy says Nestor Cortez is our ace. He's been our ace technically this year. He's got a 0.00 ERA. And then Brother Bulldozer says Sevy is our ace. I think it's a good sign that we're having a little debate over who's the ace because we got some really good pitching. And I don't want to fillet Garrett Cole verbally after he just laid an egg tonight. But he's a fantastic pitcher. He was second in the Cy Young voting last year. He's got some of the nastiest stuff in baseball. He's had a bad couple of weeks. It happens. You're going to forget about it when between July or, May and July, he goes 7-1 with a 1.5 ERA. All you're going to do is talk about how great Garrett Cole is. And everybody's going to forget about this. It's a recency bias. He's struggled recently. And I'm not worried. Neither is Sean Browning. I love it when that happens. I love it when I'm saying something and then I read a comment like at the exact same time. It's like when you say something at the same time as your friend and they say jinx. Lori C says, I'm loving the lineup premieres, Derek. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's something I'm going to try and do more is the playing the lineup and pitcher preview and then voiceover or voicemails every afternoon. Like, usually about a couple of hours before the game comes out. And I know that these videos have a short shelf life. And as a content creator, it does kind of suck to invest a bunch of time in something and then have a short shelf life. And that's why they're kind of formulaic. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's lineup, starting pitcher, keys to the game, Nostra Derek. It's stuff that I can do quickly. So I don't mind it having a short shelf life. But it is much better during the premiere because people can come in and chat at the same time. And I sit in there and chat with you guys. So Matt Coaches says, Gallo is awful. We're getting a lot of Gallo hate tonight. Ariadna, great takes nightly, says, you guys can enjoy bashing Cole, but once he starts to get hot and amazing, all of a sudden, you want to be his fans. That's how it works.
Hey, kids!
All one says Sevy will dominate tomorrow. I hope so. I would love to see Severino come out and throw that Severino 7 innings of 1-run ball. I don't know if he'll go 7 because it's going to be 29 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be below freezing. Honestly, they should postpone the game. They play these in warm weather later this summer. I'd rather have a doubleheader than have Luis Severino complain of elbow pain after pitching in a 30-degree day. Garcia and Clark were supposed to have the same ETA. Safe to say Clark is about 1 year ahead of Garcia at this point, and that's a question mark. I read it with the wrong inflection. So that's interesting that's an interesting question. It's an interesting point. First of all, let me give you the dono hype as I whack the microphone here. So Davy Garcia actually pitched really well when he came up in 2020 ahead of schedule. He hasn't been the same since that playoff. And then last year, 6+ ERA in the minors. This year off to a slow start. All those stuff's been better. Clark Schmidt was supposed to be here sooner. He got delayed because his mechanics. And even though tonight you saw some of it, like where he's falling off towards first base after the pitch, you want all your momentum going towards home plate as a pitcher. That's just, watch Nolan Ryan, watch anybody. You want all your momentum going towards the catcher. If you're falling off, that means that there's something mechanically wrong. Puts stress on your elbow. Ask Jamison Tyone about that one. Ask Kerry Wood about that one. You want to drive everything towards home plate. But Clark Schmidt has made an adjustment. He's tweaked. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but he's staying towards home plate long enough that the ball is at least coming out with the right momentum on it. And then afterwards, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. So he's maintaining the correct momentum a little bit longer, and I think he'll continue to improve. Tonight, it was good enough. And his numbers on the year support the fact that he's pitching much better. 3 1/3 innings tonight, 2 hits, 1 walk, no runs, 6 strikeouts, 1.23 ERA on the season from Clark Schmidt.
More of that, please.
By the way, we have a new cup for that, a new coffee mug that I made with that sound effect written on it. It says, more of that, please, and it has the NYY Recaps logo. It's available in my store. I'll have it featured on a stream soon. It still has to be approved and stuff, but I posted it on my Twitter, so you can go check that out. Trying to build up my Twitter following this year. It's absurdly small for the size of this podcast channel, just because I didn't use Twitter for the longest time. I'm not a social media guy, but I've been live tweeting during the games this year. So go ahead and give me a follow. Be a big help to me at NYY Recaps Derek. Mike, Double Mike says, Aaron Hicks having a very good season so far. 100% agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
As we mentioned before, highest OPS, highest batting average on the team. Sean Browning says, Boone needs to stop doing needless rest days. Michael K also has a problem with that. I watched one of Ryan Monk's videos. I didn't catch it live, but Michael K went on kind of a rant, and I was surprised to see him rant that hard against the strategy because, he works on the Yankees network. And, you got to be careful about calling out your boss like that. William M. says, love the NYY Recaps hoodie. Do they take long to get after the order is placed? Usually about 2 weeks is what I've found. It's been slightly slower since COVID because of the whole supply chain issues, but it is what it is. Mike Bragg says, a miss by Nostra Derek tonight. Yeah, I know.
It's awful.
Nostra Derek predicted a home run from Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge instead went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Ariadna says, give these players time. 100% agree. They're going to come around. The pitching especially. Garrett Cole is a great pitcher. As long as he's healthy. And you see tonight, you could tell he couldn't get a good grip on the fastball. So he was trying to throw cutters. He was trying to throw breaking balls. And he was missing in the dirt. He was trying to create misses because he couldn't spot the fastball. When you're throwing 100 miles an hour and you can't locate it, not only does it increase your odds of hitting somebody, but it increases your odds of throwing one right down the middle and getting a home run. Jack Wagner says, Mr. 1 RBI. Nope. I think Judge is going to come around too. Giovanni says, stop resting guys like they are fragile. Come on, man. I agree 100%.
Excellent.
We've got to push these guys a little bit. They're professional athletes. Does that mean anything anymore? These guys are the best in the world at what they do. They are physical specimens. PXNA says he couldn't put anybody away. One of the things that I thought could be a possibility tonight, the Tigers might have known when he was going to throw a fastball because they were just spitting on the breaking ball, right? They were just kind of taking it without really offering after the first inning anyway. But they were swinging at the fastball and they were fouling it off. So that tells me that they kind of knew a fastball was coming. They still couldn't quite catch up to it. But it kind of looked like they knew when a fastball was coming. That's just my couch opinion. I have no evidence to back that up, just a hunch. Dion says, is Rortvedt supposed to be back soon? I think so. He's struggling from a strained oblique. And sometimes, as we saw with Judge, as we saw with Stanton, as we've seen with Hicks, I believe, as we've seen with Luke Voigt, oblique issues can last a while. They can linger. That's one of the issues with getting really strong. If you've seen pictures of Rortvedt, the guy's built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And the more muscles you have, the more muscles you can pull, right? I don't think baseball is a sport where you need to be super muscle bound. I think flexibility is better in a sport where you play every single day for 6 months or every 4 or 5 days in a row if you play for the Yankees before you get a day off. So, maybe he needs to get away from some of the weightlifting. I don't know. That's something that I know that Giancarlo Stanton has done a little bit less in the weights, a little bit more with the yoga. That's something that Eric Cressy seems to preach. James G says, elite bullpen and DJ. Love to see it. Yeah, DJ was fantastic tonight. Big hit to get the insurance run. Lori C says, DJ will sit tomorrow for Glaber. Oh, I hope I really hope that you're wrong on that one. Somebody else commented a minute ago that Glaber needs to ride the pine. And, I think that Glaber is one of those guys who's had enough chances. Right now, you got to start DJ LeMahieu at second base. He's your best second baseman, and he's hitting .313 with an .890 OPS. He's back to being DJ. Gleyber Torres has played himself out of shortstop defensively, and he's played himself out of the lineup offensively. I'm sorry. I like Gleyber Torres. I'm sure he's a great guy to hang out with. But facts are facts. In this game, you have to produce, especially in New York. William M. says the Mets are 9-3, I believe. Yeah, Mets are off to a good start. Francisco Lindor doing a really nice job. Marcus Killigrew says John Boy says Cole is very predictable. I mean, you also have to take things that John Boy says with a grain of salt, right? I mean, not no disrespect to John Boy, but he's not an athlete either. And really, it's just about location with Garrett Cole. Nobody can tell you what's up with Garrett Cole other than Garrett Cole. And I don't think that he would be honest with you about it because he doesn't want to tip what's wrong. Eduardo says, good night, everybody. Good night. See you later. Have a nice day.
See ya in the next life. Hasta la vista, baby.
William M. says, Torres should be off this team. Mike Bragg says, I'm so impressed by Hicks so far. He's done great so far. Robert DeBeradine says, underrated base running by IKF and Hicks tonight. 100%. 100%. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. I appreciate all your comments and sticking with me for 30 minutes tonight. Everybody have a nice night. One more time from Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.